Our hero claims a warrior's heart. I tell you, the Dragonborn comes with a voice-wielding power of the ancient Nord arts. Believe, the Dragonborn comes. He's an end to the evil of all Skyrim's foes. Beware, the Dragonborn comes. For the darkness has passed, but the legend yet grows. You'll know, the Dragonborn's come. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to another video, and happy 10 years of Skyrim. Yeah, somehow it's been 10 full years since Skyrim hit our screens back in 2011, and that is wild to me. Skyrim came out just around the time that I first got a PS3 and started playing, like, this is a stupid way to put it, but like more grown-up games. Like, before that, like, most of my PS2 games, I mean, I showed you my PS2 collection, you know, it's a strange lot. A lot of them came from, like, the bargain bin in Game over the years, when they used to do, like, 3 games for a $5 in the pre-owned bin. So, a lot of licensed trash. Jeez, I've got my washing machine on, and I'm up the stairs and it's making my TV rattle. Like, I didn't realise the washing machine had that much force behind it, Christ. Yeah, so when I got a PS3, that was when I started playing, like, more, like, grown-up games. Like, I had Uncharted, Assassin's Creed, Mirror's Edge, and just, like, got into, like, the games that were, like, a bit more substantial. But Skyrim was one that I never took a lot of interest in at the start. Fantasy is something I can kind of take or leave. I have sort of mixed views on fantasy. Sometimes I really like it, and sometimes it's just not really my thing. So, like, the Elder Scrolls just didn't seem like something I was going to be interested in. But I remember it coming out and just everyone just talking about it constantly. Like, I remember being in town once with a group of friends, and one of them bought the Skyrim game guide while we were in game. And it was like that. It was like a tome. And they were sitting reading it in the Burger King, because we were in Burger King, as you do. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, how is that book so big? Like, I had some game guides, but mine were, like, quite thin. I'm like, that is huge. Like, what is this game? And he's like, oh, you don't understand. Like, this is how big it needs to be. Like, there is so much in this game. And I was like, what is this Skyrim malarkey? And of course, you could not escape the arrow and the knee memes on Facebook, and even though I had no idea what it was about, but, like, you can never escape a fucking arrow in the knee meme. But I remember I watched, there's this thing that used to be on TV in the mornings. They just kept repeating it because there was nothing else to show on, like, a Sunday morning, and it was like the top 100 video games of all time. And Skyrim was somewhere in the top 10. And all these people were just going on about how Skyrim was so fun and how you could just ignore the main quests and spend your day reading books and making potions. And I was like, I am intrigued. Like, people don't stop talking about this game. So eventually I picked it up for my PS3. And I mean, that was, God, I don't even know, that was years ago. And I put it on, and I did, up until I think the, like, first dragon attack in Whiterun, and I don't know, I wasn't feeling it, and I was so disappointed, because I was like, this is supposed to be, like, the greatest game of all time, and I'm just not feeling this at all. So then I put it away, didn't think about it for a long time, like a few years, and then I was like, I really, really want to get why people love Skyrim so much. Like, I want to love Skyrim because it looks so interesting and people love it, and I just want to understand. So I went online and watched a few videos. It was like what to know before you start Skyrim, and top tips for playing Skyrim, and how to play Skyrim as a beginner, because I was like, right, this time I'm going in with knowledge. So that time, I put it back on, started a new save, created a character, followed an online guide about to try and figure out what kind of character I wanted to play and how it was going to work for me. and then went into the game with a better idea of what the hell I was meant to do, and it turned out to be one of the greatest things ever, and now I'm just like everyone else, just a complete Skyrim junkie. So this year, ahead of them releasing the anniversary content, I finally upgraded and got Skyrim Special Edition for my PS4, because up until literally about a month ago, I was playing still on my PS3. And the save, it was working. To be honest, my PS4 version so far has been more glitchy than my PS3 version. It has crashed multiple times. Blood on the Ice was fucked. Like, my PS3 copy was actually a lot better. It did not glitch nearly as much as my PS4 copy has. So I just want to say that everybody that said that Skyrim and the PS3 is jank, y'all are wrong. Skyrim and the PS3 worked a lot better. But it is great to have it on the PS4. I finally have all the DLC. And I'm just having such a good time, just experiencing Skyrim again from the beginning. So I figured that in honor of the 30th anniversary, Jesus, might as well be. It fucking feels like it sometimes. They've released it about 30 times in the past 10 years. In honor of the 10th anniversary, I'm gonna do a Skyrim 30-day challenge, because I can't really be bothered recording me playing Skyrim. I don't really know what that would achieve, because I just fuck about in Skyrim. But this is gonna be a good way to talk about my love for Skyrim. And I like a good 30-day challenge. I said that before when I did the Witch one, so this should be fun. So buckle in, and I'm about to hit you with some Skyrim opinions, some Skyrim hot takes. Let's go! So number 1 on the list, we have favorite race. So for me, it's, and this is probably one of those nostalgia things, you know that way when like you're just really attached to the first character you ever made. I mean, I don't remember anything about the character I made in my very, very first save. I think she was an Ord, but to be honest, I barely remember. I don't even know what her name was. I don't know what she looked like. So my second character, who was really my first character, that I actually gave a shit about, was a Redguard. And I picked a Redguard because on one of those online beginner's guides, they said that Redguard is a good race to play as an all-round character. If you're a beginner and you don't really know what you want to specialise in, you don't really know kind of what your play style is going to be, because you haven't experienced it yet, Redguard is a good starting point. So I picked Redguard, and now I'm just really attached to the Redguards, because I ended up on the wiki and stuff, just reading into the whole history of the Redguards and their life in Hammerfell, and how, you know, their connection and with the Aldmeri Dominion, and I just got really into the history of the Redguard and just decided that I really liked them as a race. So like, I wanted, when I came back to do my new save, I'm like, I need to play something else because I've already done Redguard. But I was really sad because I was like, I really liked being a Redguard, and I just think that their culture and their history is so interesting, and they've got some like they do have really interesting things, like I can never remember how you pronounce it, like the Alikar, like assassins, and obviously like they've got their own game technically, like Elder Scrolls Adventures Redguard, I want to say it's called. So I think I would really, really like Elder Scrolls 6 to be in Hammerfell. I know we thought it was, and then we found out that Redfall is not actually Elder Scrolls 6, so that was disappointing, because everyone thought that meant it was going to be about the Redguards and it was going to be in Hammerfell. But I really want it to be in Hammerfell. I haven't played Elder Scrolls Online, so I know you get to see more places and stuff in that, but I want Hammerfell, and I want to get to experience more of the Redguards, because I think they're great. But, I mean, I also, obviously, all the races have their own perks. I'm playing now as a high elf because I wanted to do, last time I was a warrior, but I ended up learning a lot of magic and becoming a bit of a mage, which then felt wrong because the Redguards don't like magic, so then that felt a bit like a betrayal. And then I had this whole backstory that like my character, her name was Tamara, I had this whole backstory that like the reason she was in Skyrim is because she'd been like exiled from Hammerfell because she wanted to be a mage, so she came to Skyrim to join the mage college, so that she could be a mage, but she still, you know, she still feels a lot of like patriotism to her home, but Hammerfell isn't really the right place for her because she wants to be a mage. That was what I decided her story was. But then I was like, if I want to play a mage, I might as well just go all out and become a high elf, just so we can like properly like take over the world as a you know, big racist magic elf. But I like them all. I love the dark elves. I think they get a terrible rep. Like the way they're treated in Windhelm is so upsetting to me. I'm less keen on the Nords just because they won't stop talking about Ulfric Stormcloak, and fuck that. Obviously the Khajiit are great. And I love the Argonians. I love their names. Like, Scouts, Many Marshes. I always said that I wanted to make an Argonian character and call them Karen Calls the Manager. But I did not do that in my new playthrough because if you become like, I might be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure if you become like a Khajiit, you can't like marry anyone. And I like romancing half of Skyrim, so anyway, that was a long fucking answer to that question. Number 2 on the list, favorite class. Well, obviously it's mage. I like being a warrior. Even as a mage, I always carry a two-handed weapon. I love two-handed weapons. I was the same in Valhalla. I just love, I always think the guards that are like, God gave you the gods gave you two hands and you use them both for your weapon. I can respect that. It's pretty much me. Like, I don't really want to have like a blade in each hand or a sword and a shield. I want like the biggest fuck off weapon you've got, and I want to just like go around just fucking smashing it into people. So even as a mage, I'm always carrying a warhammer or a battle axe or something along those lines. But I like being a mage. I think magic is cool. If you're going to give me a game, I want to do the thing that's interesting. So like, I can beat up people with swords in many games. I want to be a mage because I can, you know, I can kick around Assassin's Creed 2 with a sword, and I usually do, because to be honest, it's kind of easier to play that game with a sword than the hidden blade. You get more of a chance of countering. But it's like, yeah, there's other games I can kick around with a sword, but I can't blast people in the face with fire that comes out of my own palms in Assassin's Creed. So like, well, not yet, fucking Ubisoft. So obviously I want to be a mage, and I love it. I love being able to shout. Obviously you can shout anyway, but I love being able to do magic. I can shout, I can shoot fire, I can shoot sparks, I can make people calm, I can make people furious, I can put up barriers. So much fun. And as much as the College of Winterhold is like, I don't know, I don't trust half the college. I find the college people kind of annoying, most of them. I love Brelena, and I love Maribel Irvin. Fucking Arniel Gain, who doesn't love Arniel Gain? But yeah, like, I don't particularly enjoy the college that much. But I like being a mage, is what I'm trying to say. Number 3, favorite town. I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion. I feel like it is. I don't really know. This is the thing. I don't really know what people's general opinions are on a lot of things in Skyrim, and I suppose it's such a big fandom, it's divided. But for me, it's Riften. Riften is my favorite town. Like, when I started my new save, like, as soon as I was finished, like, kicking about Whiterun, doing the kind of opening section of the game, I immediately was like, right, I'm off to Riften. Because that's my favorite place, and I was like, I just want to go to Riften and meet all of my favorite characters, because like, I love everyone in Riften. And it's so strange because it's like, it's obviously known to be like a shit pit where it's full of evil. It's ran by this, you know, terrible family. It's got ratways full of thieves, and you know, it's just a bad place where crime is rampant and the guards are all in Maven Blackbriar's pocket. But I love it there. I love the design. I love the fact that it's like on 2 levels. I love the fact that everything's kind of made of wood. And it's not a very big town, which I think helps a lot, because, you know, I get so fucking lost in Windhelm. Oh my god. And Markarth. Like, I don't have a clue where I'm going. At least in Riften, it's like pretty much one street. Like, I can't get lost in Riften. But I love it. Mjol the Lioness is there, and Mjol was my wife in my original PS3 save. I love the Bratbyers, for better or worse. Maven is just, like, you can't help but love to hate her. it's a great town. It's a great town. And it's got so many interesting things. Like it's got the Honor Hall Orphanage, it's got Helga's bunkhouse, it's got the Temple of Mara where you can get married. Like there's a lot of really interesting things in Riften that I just think it's a great place to be because it's, I think, got some of the most like interesting stuff happening. It's got a marketplace where people come out every day and do stuff. Like yeah, for me it's the most interesting town, and I think it's the one where there's the most like kind of things going on in it that make it worth living in. So I'm just always in Riften. Like I pretty much operate out of Riften. It was where I lived while I was saving up, obviously because we all lived there, so I lived in Riften with her until I bought Proudspire Manor and then obviously moved to Solitude. But I feel like Solitude, it's like that's where my house is, but Riften's still my home. My heart is always in Riften. Number 4, favourite follower. So I have a bit of a confession to make. I don't change follower pretty much ever. I am very attached to Lydia. I don't know why, because I know Lydia has no real kind of, like, she's great obviously as your first kind of like follower. Obviously she's quite tough and she's useful, but I know a lot of people are quite happy to get rid of Lydia as soon as they come across someone better. But I just love Lydia so much that I like refuse to get rid of her. I refuse to let go. I don't know, I just really like her. I think she's sweet and she's friendly, and I love when she's like, I am sworn to carry your burdens. And I'm just attached to her, so I just feel like I have to bring her everywhere, and I'm so well known. I will literally reload the game if Lydia dies. I've spent so much time with the Healing Hand spell trying to keep Lydia alive while I'm getting battered from all angles, because I'm like, no, not Lydia. I will reload the game if I can't find her. I will reload the game if she dies. I will literally refuse to play the game if Lydia's not by my side. So, off the top of my head, I can't even tell you that many other followers that are in the game because I just never swap them out. I swapped to Miol for a while when I married her because she's an essential character, so that's really handy if you're going into a particularly dangerous place because at least I know she can't die, so I can just let Miol go wild and she'll live. She is really useful as a follower because she can't die, although everyone complains about how she won't stop talking about her mother while you're out, and I was like, oh, that's great, she has loads of dialogue, because like that makes it like seem really good considering I'm married to her. It's like I'm finding out about her past, but even me after like about an hour was like, oh my god, Miol, will you shut the fuck up? Like stop talking every 2 seconds. I'm trying to listen to the dialogue, I'm trying to listen to the other characters and you're talking. So yeah, I stick with Lydia. I don't really know who else there is. I need to find out so I can sacrifice one of them to Boethia, but yeah, I just take Lydia everywhere. She's my girl. She's my girl. There's me, my wife, my girlfriend. I've got a great photo I saved because it was like me and Lydia and Barbas, and I'm like, look, it's me, my girlfriend, and our demon dog out for a walk. Number 5, your least favourite NPC. Is that even a question? Is there anybody who doesn't answer Nazim for this question? Fucking Nazim. Like, how could it be anyone else? Do you get to the Cloud District often? Oh, what am I saying? Of course you don't. Shut the fuck up, Nazim. The Cloud District is literally just the bit near the fucking Dragon's Reach. He says that to me when we're both standing in the Cloud District. I'm like, I'm literally right here. And it's not as if it's difficult to get to. You can walk right in. Shut the fuck up, Nazim. So yeah, the fact that you can't sacrifice him to Boethia is a real problem. Like, I don't want to install any mods into my game yet because I want to try and get the trophies, because I just put it on my PS4, so like, I want to get the trophies, and if you install mods, it will deactivate them. But I am sad that I'm sure there must be a mod out there to make Nazim a follower so you can sacrifice him to Boethia. And if it wasn't going to fuck up my, what is it called? Something Walker. Oblivion Walker achievement, I would absolutely download that mod if it exists and take Nazim and quite happily hand him to Boethia. Number 6, your favourite Dedric prince. I love the Dedric princes so much, and like, I don't know, like, they are just obviously, they are obviously some of the most interesting characters in the entire series. Like, they've got so much lore, and the way that they, like, affect life in Tamriel, I just find really interesting. There are some that I like less. Like, I feel really bad every time I do House of Horrors, because I don't want to do work for Molag Bal. I think he's so awful. So, like, he's not one I support. Like, fuck Molag Bal. I don't have a huge amount of love for Mehrunes Dagon. But I like Azura, obviously, because Azura's kind of the most chill of them all, and she's kind of like the least evil. But I kind of don't trust Azura either. Azura gives me bad vibes. Like, I don't trust that Azura's not out to get me. I feel like she lulls you into a false sense of security and then is, like, gonna murder you. So I like Azura, but I don't trust Azura. So, obviously, I know it's pretty much a crime to not say that your favourite Daedric prince is Sheogorath. Now, I do love Sheogorath, because obviously he's got a wonky Scottish accent, he's wearing a fucking jester's outfit pretty much, and he's completely insane. But I also feel like Sheogorath would murder me where I stand. But I obviously I do love him, of course I do, but he's not quite my favourite. He's like my second favourite, because there's just one Daedric prince that beats him in my eyes, and it's that washed up English rock star, Clavicus Vile. Clavicus Vile honestly sounds like he was in, like, a 60s rock and roll band. It sounds like he was in, like, the Rolling Stones or something, and he's trying to, like, come to terms with the fact that he'll never be famous again. I like him. I like the fact that he's the Daedric prince of, oh wow, my brain's went. I want to say it's Mischief. He's like the one that he grants wishes. He's like a Daejeon, basically. He grants wishes. So you can come to Clavicus Vile and be like, I want this thing. But Clavicus is obviously evil, so when you wish for something from him, you can guarantee that it will not be as simple as you just get what you want. So there's this whole story about how there was this girl who, like, wanted to look beautiful so that a guy would fall in love with her, so he gave her a mask so that she would always look beautiful. But then on the day of the wedding, he took the mask back, and everyone hated her. And it ruined her life because she was miserable, because she was about to get married and it destroyed her wedding. And I'm like, I realise that's a bad thing, but I just think that's really interesting as a character, the fact that he does kind of embody this idea of, like, an evil genie, where he will grant you wishes, but he also can come back and destroy what he's given you at any time. And the fact that he's, like, a washed up rock star. But of course, the one other thing that makes Clavicus Vile so great is the fact that he has a demon dog. He has a demon dog called Barbas. Barbas has this really strong, like, Queens, New York accent. He's super chill. Like, Barbas is just a good guy. Like, he's a dog. He's a good guy. And the two of them are just, like, always together. And I don't know, I just really like that about them. You know, the fact that he's, like, this Daedric prince, but he's got this demon dog that he brings everywhere. I like Clavicus Vile. I think he's great. I like his stupid mask. It looks dumb, but it means that people are, listen to me more because it improves your speech. So, yeah, Sheogorath is up there, but absolutely my boy Clavicus Vile is my favourite. Number 7, your favourite weapon or spell. So my favourite weapon is absolutely a steel or an iron warhammer. Like I said, I love a two-handed weapon. I love to just have the biggest weapon you can find, the biggest, heaviest weapon, and just plunge it into people. That is my vibe. So, steel or iron warhammer, whichever one is heavier, whichever one does higher damage, that's what I want to have. And I will take one as soon as I can find one in the game and dump all my other weapons. This is the thing, once I've got a warhammer, I basically dump every other weapon I come across. Like, I don't want anything else, I just want my warhammer. So I usually have one of them, and I usually have a dagger just for, like, stabbing Calixto in the back in any other situations that would be handy. Stabbing Grelod. But yeah, I dump all other weapons. I have my bow and arrow, obviously. But I'll just basically fuck about with my giant warhammer, because I don't need anything else. That is all I need. My favourite spell is flames. That's boring, but I just think it's so cool. Like, I can fire flames out of my palms and just incinerate people. How is that not cool? Like, calm is an interesting spell. Like, there's a bunch of spells that are, like, fine. Obviously, some of the conjuration spells. I'm not really into conjuration magic, so, I don't really do that. Obviously, being able to conjure, like, a, what are they called? An Artronac? I'm never sure how that word's pronounced. That's pretty cool, but it's still not as cool as just putting both hands out like that and just incinerating another person. It's just, there's just something really satisfying about that. Skyrim brings out the worst in me. Although I'm still too good, and we'll come on to that, believe me, we'll get there. Number 8, your favourite quest. This took me a long time because, like, there was one that instantly came into my mind, and I was like, I suppose that must be my answer. But I was like, there must be others. I mean, I love the Dedric quests. I think they're really interesting. Obviously, like, going on a, you know, a wild night out with Sanguine, and then trying to find out what happened, going into Pelagius's mind with Sheogorath. You know, there's a bunch of them, but, the one quest that came into my head is the one that I really like, is Blood on the Ice. And it's funny because it is also the most broken quest in the entire game. Like, everyone knows that Blood on the Ice is basically, a random number generator as to whether it will work or not in your particular save. So it worked perfectly for me on the PS3. I had no problems with Blood on the Ice. I went to Windhelm, I found the guard in the graveyard, the quest started, and there was no issues. It went start to finish and it was great. It did not work in my PS4 version. There was no guard in the graveyard. I tried every troubleshooting technique online, nothing worked, so my only option was to deliberately break the quest and steal the key from what's her face, Nielsen's mother, Thingby Shattershield, and break into the house to make the quest start, which meant I missed the entire first half of the quest. So I was really gutted, because like I say, Blood on the Ice I think is my favourite. It's the one that really sticks in my mind as like the most interesting story-wise in the entire series. The fact that it's like a serial killer and you're trying to track him down, then it turns out to be the person you would like least expect. But it was broken in my PS4 save, so that was really disappointing. But I do like it. There's a lot of great quests, but that's the one that sticks in my mind. The fact that it turns... I remember the first time I played it, I absolutely did not suspect Calixto. So like when we went into the town, when they're like, go to the marketplace and wait for the killer to strike, and it was fucking Calixto, I was like, are you joking me? But this time at least, I was aware, I knew what he was going to be, and I oh no, I got my dagger and I plunged it into his back and I saved... I can't remember her name. It's like Adriana or something like that. I saved her. She didn't die this time. I didn't manage to save Margaret and Markarth. I tried. I failed. But I saved the girl in Windhelm from Calixto. So, buzzing. And then you can go into the shipping museum and steal all his shit. So, all in all, a good quest. And once you've unlocked that house, you can randomly go in and out of it, even though it's not got any furniture. But who doesn't? That's the thing that I find so funny, is they're like, if you become like the Thane of Windhelm, they're like, oh, you can have that house, and I'm like, the one where the man was chopping up bodies in the basement, the one that's covered in blood, that's the only house you have to offer me in this town? Get out of here. I'm going back to Riften, you fucks. Number 9, Stormcloaks, Imperials, or neither. So the quick answer to that question is Imperials. The long answer is they both suck in their own way, but I hate the Stormcloaks far more than I hate the Imperials. The Stormcloaks need to shut the fuck up. Honest to God. And normally I'm all for a rebel underdog. Normally, when the people rise up against the regime, that's something I'm really behind. But the Stormcloaks have just completely got the wrong idea here. Like, it's so annoying. They will not shut the fuck up about our float Stormcloak, who is a dickhead. And the fact that Ulfric came to Solitude and shouting King Torrig to death, I'm just like, the fuck is wrong with you? And why is everyone supporting this? You can't just go in and murder the High King because you don't like the way he's ruling. You can't do that. And it's like, it would be one thing if he was genuinely evil, like if he was like an evil ruler that treated everyone badly, but he didn't. Like, people, the only thing, really, that the Imperials have done to affront the Stormcloaks is the fact that they made it illegal to worship Talos. Now, I understand that's difficult, but the thing is, they do still worship Talos. Like, there's a fucking shrine to Talos in Markarth that no one seems to be particularly bothered about the fact that it's there. And I know they're like, oh, if you see anyone worshipping Talos, report it. But let's be serious, no one does. You can absolutely worship Talos as long as they don't hear you. And I get that that's not great. And I get that religious freedom is important. And I am annoyed that the Imperials, you know, gave in to this demand of the Aldmeri Dominion, Thalmor, to take away Talos worship. But in the grand scheme of things, considering they made that alliance with the Aldmeri Dominion to prevent like the whole of Skyrim getting destroyed, I'm just like, I think y'all need to put this into perspective. I can't believe you called a whole fucking civil war just because you're annoyed that they won't let you worship a guy that you can still worship as long as you're quiet about it. No one's going to jail you. But this guy that you're worshipping, he went in and just straight up murdered a man. Just murdered the High King in cold blood, and I feel so bad for Elisif, because now people are like, oh, she can't be the High Queen because, like, she doesn't know anything and she's too young, blah, blah, blah. Nah. I think the Imperials are not perfect because any empire is going to be riddled with problems and is going to be corrupt somewhere along the line. But I think they are, in general, the Imperials are doing what they can to protect Skyrim, where the Stormcloaks just seem intent on making things worse. So, no. My answer to that one is fuck the Stormcloaks. Okay, so number 10 on my list is your favourite armour. I don't really have an answer for this one, I'm not gonna lie. I honestly don't remember my warrior character. I don't really remember what armor I was wearing. I remember it was a decent one, but I couldn't tell you what it actually was. I don't tend to pay a lot of attention to what armor I'm wearing. I just sort of, if I come across one that's better than the one that I'm wearing, I'll put it on. That's sort of my general way of playing. Because I'm a mage right now, I'm wearing some Apprentice Robes of Destruction, but that's about it. Like, I just don't really pay a lot of attention to like armor types and stuff. You'll find that a lot of the time when it comes to these games is I do tend to have a bit of a problem with certain aspects where I'm like, I don't really pay a lot of attention to that, I just sort of play. So I know I'm wearing Apprentice Robes of Destruction, but I don't have really a preference on an armor in terms of its type. I don't really know how any of them look off the top of my head. I think the vampire outfits are pretty cool. I took a vampire outfit off of a dead person just because I think it looks cool. I can tell you about my favourite outfits. I bought some really nice dresses from Radiant Raiment, and I've got this really nice green one. And I got a really nice necklace and a circlet to go with it, and I was just kicking about Solitude looking like the absolute star of the show. I pay a lot of attention to clothes. Like, if I come across a dead NPC or something wearing a really nice outfit, or like if I'm raiding a place, I'll like look in all the drawers to see if they've got any nice outfits, because I just love collecting clothes. Like right now, my absolute goal with Skyrim is to get the tavern clothes outfit, and I know that there's one cave where there's a dead NPC wearing the outfit, but I went in it recently and it's clearly just a bit too high level for me, because me and Lydia both got absolutely destroyed about 2 seconds after walking in the door. So, and that was with Barbas backing us up. So I will go back when I'm higher level and I'm going to get that tavern outfit and I'm going to look so fucking good in it. Wait till you see. Number 11, your favourite DLC. So I haven't actually had a chance to play with Dragonborn or Dawnguard yet because I didn't have them on the PS3. And I'm not high enough level yet to take either of them on, so I haven't started the quests on either of them. So I really can't tell you anything about Dawnguard or Dragonborn. I'm really looking forward to going to Solstheim because I've heard like such interesting things when I used to watch a lot of those the Epic Nate videos where he would do like things you didn't know about Skyrim and stuff like that. And he used to mention Solstheim a lot and I was like, I really want to go there. So I will go there and I'm really excited for it. But right now, really all I can say is my opinions on Hearthfire. Although I feel like Hearthfire probably would be my favourite anyway, it was the one I always really wanted. Like, I did consider getting it on the PS3 at one point. Like, I was always really wanting Hearthfire. Because the idea of getting to, like, build your own house is just so good to me. And I've already started doing it. I bought the plot of land, the Winstad Manor, I think it's called. It's the plot between Morthal and Solitude. And I started building my house there just, like, last week. And it's coming along really well. It's looking really good. It's shaping up. I've got the little house built. I've got, my outside done up. I've got, like, stables and a animal pen and some fishing and stuff. And I'm getting the main hall built behind it, but I need to get more materials. So I'm having a great time with that. And for me, like, turning Skyrim into The Sims and letting me build my own house and cook food in it and adopt children and move my wife in, that is all right up my alley. So I can't wait to finish building my big massive house. It's going to look really lovely, and then I'm going to marry a nice lady and we're going to adopt the most or least annoying children in Skyrim and move them all in, and we're going to have such a happy life together, and I'm really looking forward to it. Number 12, your favourite school of magic. So I have to really agree with what's her name? Is it Colette? The one who always says, Restoration is a perfectly valid school of magic and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. That is me. I think Restoration is my favourite school of magic, even though I know it's boring. I know most people probably be like, Illusion or Conjuration, you know, one of the ones that does more interesting stuff. I just love being able to heal myself and being able to heal others. And I always think, if I was in one of these fantasy universes, like really in them, I would definitely be a healer. Like, I would want to be a character that runs around the battlefield healing people. Because that's just kind of who I am as a person. Like, I wish I had that kind of ability in real life. I don't really need the ability to shoot flames from my hands. I don't need the ability to, like, warp people's minds. But I would love to have the ability to heal other people. To be able to just run up to someone and just, you know, use my hands at them and heal them, like Leo out of Charmed. So yeah, for me it's Restoration, because I just think it's the most practical, and it's like the one that is the least dodgy, if that makes sense. Like, you can't hurt anyone with Restoration magic, you can only help. And I think that's a really good thing. I think that's the skill of magic that I think everybody can agree, you know, even if you're completely against mages, I think everyone can agree that Restoration magic is a really good thing to have in the world and society. Your favourite faction? So obviously it's the Mage College, because I'm a mage. I like the Companions, although I think they need to chill the fuck out. I don't like the Dark Brotherhood, because I think that's really fucked up. You can't just be going around killing people. You can't. And I get that they're like, oh, but we kill bad people because people have performed the Black Sacrament to get us to kill them. It's like, yeah, but anyone could perform the Black Sacrament. I could perform the Black Sacrament because, you know, someone cut in front of me at the spar shop. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't mean that they actually deserve to be murdered. Like, you can perform the Black Sacrament for any reason. They don't discriminate over who they kill. So I think the Dark Brotherhood are fucked up. The Thieves Guild, I really like the characters in the Thieves Guild. Like, I love Brynjolf. I think Vex is super cool. But I feel like I don't want to be in the Thieves Guild because Mjol doesn't like the Thieves Guild. And I'm like, I can't betray Mjol's trust. Even if I don't marry her in this particular save, I'm still going to feel like I'm betraying her trust and I'll feel like a bad person. But the Thieves Guild are cool. But no, it's obviously the Mage College, because I love the idea that I'm actually at a university for mages and we go to class and we learn spells, and or, you know, it's a better version of Harry Potter. So as much as obviously the College of Winterhold has fallen down and it gets attacked by a dragon literally every time I fast travel there just to dump my stuff in the cupboard, every fucking time. It's still definitely the Mage College. Who am I missing? Oh yeah, the Bard College isn't really a faction, but I wish it was. I wish it was a real faction, because I love to sing. I would love the Bard College to be a real faction that I could join and participate in events and stuff and go and sing around Skyrim. Make money working at a bar or something. Give me that in the Elder Scrolls 6. Make being a bard in the taverns an actual career. And I will sign up on day one. Number 14, vampire or werewolf? Obviously I haven't played Dawnguard, so is it Dawnguard? It is, isn't it? Dawnguard's the one with the vampires. So I don't really know a lot about vampires. I don't really know, because my first experience with a vampire in Skyrim is obviously, oh, there's a really good quest actually that I didn't mention earlier. Laid to Rest is a really good quest. Laid to Rest in Morthal, with the guy and his house burnt down and his kid died, and then it turned out that he was being manipulated by a vampire, and then the vampire had turned this other guy's wife into a vampire, and she was hanging out with the little girl who was dead. She was chilling with her ghost and she wanted to like take the little girl to be like her dead daughter. I don't know, it was weird. It's a great quest. That's a really good story. But that was my first experience with vampires in Skyrim, and that was a bad situation where, you know, the woman seduced someone's husband and then got the man to burn his house down with his wife and kid in it. So vampires are definitely a bad thing. The werewolf, the companions are all good people. They turn into werewolves, but they're all good people, and you don't actually have to like kill anyone as a werewolf. So I suppose in that sense I would say werewolf, because werewolves aren't inherently evil, but vampires are like always fucked up. So werewolf. And also I don't want to be going around, vampires like eat folk. I don't really want to, I mean maybe werewolves do too, I can't remember, it's been a while since I did the companion quest. But I just think werewolves are a lot less dangerous than vampires, so I'm gonna go werewolf. Plus my girl Ayla the Huntress is a werewolf, and she's, you know, probably the best looking girl in all of Skyrim, so. Number 15, your favourite thing about Skyrim? Wow, that's a big question. I suppose for me it's just being able to escape into a world that's just so different from the real world. The fact that it is so huge, and the fact that there are so many characters that all have their own little personalities. The fact that it's got a proper day cycle, so people will mill about and go about their business, and you can just do whatever you want. You can go shopping, you can, you know, coming up soon you're going to be able to go fishing, you can go on quests, or you can just kick about the town, you can go and have a beer at the tavern, you can get married, you can build your house, you can go and mine iron in the mines, you can buy a horse and just ride aimlessly across the fields. It's just that ability to just be in a different world and just enjoy exploring and watching the sunrise over the hills in the morning, and you know, climbing up the snowy mountains, and just being somewhere that's so unlike the real world, but is so immersive that you really feel like you're there. So if you're having a bad day, you can turn on Skyrim and it just makes everything kind of feel as if it's not real, because you can just be in Skyrim, and in Skyrim you can be whoever you want to be. You can be good, you can be bad, you can be the most powerful person ever, you can be a werewolf, you can be a vampire, you can be the hero, you can become the archmage, you can be whoever you want to be, and that's a really nice feeling. That's what I love about Skyrim. Number 16, your least favourite thing about Skyrim. When it bugs, when it crashes, when your companion, your follower fucking disappears and you've got no idea where they went. Usually because they've clipped into a rock somewhere. Nazim. Having to kill Vittoria Vici at her own wedding. That's definitely up there as one of my least favorite things about Skyrim. Ulfric Stormcloak. When Blood in the Ice doesn't work, that's one of my least favorite things. Getting attacked by a dragon when I'm trying to fast travel and then I can't fucking fast travel. Or trying to fast travel and there's a goddamn slaughterfish somewhere in the surrounding 10-mile area and I can't fast travel because it's there. But I can't see it, so I can't fight it. Accidentally stealing something because the cursor's so fucking janky that you're trying to lift the thing and then you accidentally steal the thing next to it and then everyone attacks you and the guards are like, give me that back, and I'm like, bitch, I wasn't even trying to pick that up, for God's sake. Delphine. Delphine trying to get me to kill Parthenax. Ancano. Yeah, I mean, there's a few things I don't like about Skyrim, but I mean, let's be serious. All those things that I just said are just part of the Skyrim experience. But if you're going to ask me to list my least favourite things about Skyrim, then that's the things that come to my head. There are other characters that I hate. Obviously, I hate Calixto. Oh, other least favourite thing about Skyrim. Having to fucking eat Brother Varulus. That's the worst. I hate that quest. I did it because I'm trying to get the Oblivion Walker achievement, but like... oh, I hate it. And then there's all these people there, and it's like, didn't I see you in the bar, like, and down the street in Markarth? And she's like, haha, yeah, what do you think really happened to my husband? And I'm like, okay. Yeah, no, fuck you, Namira. Those are my least favourite things about Skyrim. Number 17, your favourite shout. This is a super boring one, but I just think it's so cool. It's the clear skies shout. The fact that you can just get the weather to clear. So if you're like running, you're out in Skyrim and you're like, God, it's pissing down out here. This is the worst. Like, I live in Scotland. I can go out, if I, you know, in the words of Tyler from the Four Pillars, if I wanted to get fucking rained on, I would just get the boys and go outside. It's fucking raining out there all day. Believe me, today it's absolutely pissing down outside. It is teeming. If I want to get rained on, I can do it outside. In Skyrim, I want it to be sunny. So the fact that there's a clear sky shout and you can just randomly do it and then it will just be sunny, it's like, hell yeah, that is a power I want in real life. And if you do it down in Blackreach, it like breaks the game or something. I can't remember. It does something cool in Blackreach. But yeah, clear skies, great shout. Great shout. There's a lot of good shouts, but there's something about clear skies that just makes me happy. The fact that I can just turn off the rain. What a fantastic superpower to have. Number 18. Are you a skooma user? No. Skooma is essentially just drugs. And no. No, why would I do that to myself? I don't do drugs or alcohol in real life, and I try to avoid them in video games because it usually makes the camera go skewy. Like, in Valhalla, when there was that goddamn glitch after the Yule Festival, where every time you load into the game, it had the drunk camera on, I have some of the worst motion sickness you'll probably ever find in a human being. It's quite ridiculous, actually, how bad my motion sickness is. I get, like, I almost throw up sometimes just from standing up too quickly. Or turning my head too fast. It's a real problem. There's something wrong with my ears, probably. Anyway, my point is, anything that can cause the camera to start going into drunk vision is an absolute no-no. Skooma makes your character like start fleeing, and it's like, no, because I'm going to barf. I already have to play Skyrim in third person because the first person camera makes me throw up. I only ever use it when I'm trying to pick up coins off a desk. So, nothing that's going to make it go worse. Number 19. Well, your favourite book. So I'm going to be completely honest here, I don't really read the books in Skyrim. I love to read in real life. That's why I have such a big bookcase. But I just can't really be arsed reading the books in Skyrim. So I went with one of the books that obviously I know is really good because, I mean, everyone's read this book. I went for The Lusty Argonian Maid because who doesn't love The Lusty Argonian Maid? But there are a shit ton of books in Skyrim that I have not put the slightest bit of interest in. I pick them up, I open it to get the level up perk thing, and then I close it and put it back down. I'm planning to put a library in my Skyrim house and trying to get all the books, but I will not read them. I've read the Book of the Daedra because I love Daedra. But that's about it. I don't read the books in Skyrim. I read the ones that are like diaries and stuff for quests, but I don't read the actual books because no. I never read Hard in Hightown either, and what is that game called? Dragon Age. Fucking hell. Actually, I didn't read any of the books in Dragon Age. I just absolutely did not pay the fucking blindest bit of attention. I will read every database entry that Sean Hastings makes, but other than that, if you put things in your game that I have to spend a lot of time reading, the chances are I'm not going to do it. I don't have the patience or the attention span for that. Number 20, hardest enemy you've faced. So I play on like novice difficulty or like no, I play on apprentice difficulty. I've only put it on novice if I'm really struggling. I play on apprentice. So on the whole, things are pretty easy for me in Skyrim. I'm trying to think I can't think of an enemy I really struggled with because I have the game on so easy. I actually don't... I can't think of an answer to that question. I remember Potema gave me issues, the Wolf Queen. I remember that one being a struggle. Apparently you can like fire an arrow into the room that she's in and everyone will just attack each other and you can just sit and watch the carnage and you don't have to do the fight. But I seem to remember Potema being something I had to reload a few times. So I guess we'll go with Potema the Wolf Queen. But let's be serious, I don't fucking remember. And the game's on such a low difficulty anyway, it'd be pretty shitty of me to get to be struggling that much with any of them. Number 21, favourite weapon enchantment. So these two are both, actually 21 and 22 are pretty much the same question. Favourite weapon enchantment and favourite clothing enchantment. So this is another one of these ones where I'm going to be like, I don't really pay attention to enchanting. I don't really do a lot of enchanting in Skyrim. I actually don't know if I ever have, and I can only name you about 3 enchantments off the top of my head. So I've pulled up the Skyrim wiki to get a list of them to try and get a better idea of what we're talking about here. So, what is the Silent Moons enchant? What the heck is that? What is that? Provides a damage bonus at night while the moons are out. It gives it a green glow during the night. And it makes the target of the weapon glow almost yellow during the day. I mean, that sounds fun. Anything that makes my weapon glow green sounds really cool. So Silent Moons enchantment sounds fun. Maybe I should track that down. I guess it's at the Silent Moons camp. Turn Undead. I know that one. That one's decent. These are the weapon enchantments here. So what question? Am I on weapon enchantment? I am, aren't I? Yes, favourite weapon enchantment. So, I would say, obviously I think Soul Trap's really useful. I think any of the ones that absorb stuff are really cool. But I think the Silent Moons enchantment sounds really fun. And Turn Undead is obviously useful because it makes you can get the Draugr to, you know, fuck the fuck off. But I don't really need it. Like, I don't really need that one particularly. So, I would say the Silent Moons enchantment is probably my favourite weapons enchantment. Even though I don't know anything about it, it just sounds cool in theory. What is Notched Pickaxe? Oh my god, pickaxe. It contains a unique enchantment. Oh, it gives you 5 plus 5 smithing. Well, I don't really need it. Huntsman's Prowess. Gives you a damage bonus against animals, but does not provide a glow effect. Well then, get fucked. I only want it if it makes my weapon glow. Come on. Number 22 then, your favourite clothing enchantments. So clothing enchantments, there's more. It says here that there are 18 weapon enchantments and 38 clothing enchantments. So let's see what we've got. A lot of fortifies. Fortify, this, that, and the next thing. Sneak, light armor, magicka, all your different things that you your skills you can fortify. Muffle. What is muffle? Is that like your feet? Renders the caster's footsteps completely silent for 180 seconds or 396 if you dual cast it. That sounds pretty decent, have to say. Resist disease is also a useful one because I get diseased all the time. Resist poison I've discovered is something, because I used to play as a red guard, I keep forgetting that I can get poisoned now, and then I get poisoned and I'm like, oh damn it. Because red guards are resistant to poison. Water breathing is obviously a really cool one. Water breathing is the one that can make you swim without drowning. And you need it in that one random quest in Oblivion where you have to like go down a well and find someone's ring. And it's so fucking annoying. Yeah, Argonians are just inbuilt with water breathing, which is cool. So water breathing is definitely a handy one. Because you can do a big swim. Oh, candlelight. Oh, I remember candlelight. Oh. Fortify healing rate. That would be handy. Fortify lockpicking, because I fucking love to lockpick. We're coming to that. I would say muffle is probably then my favourite, because that sounds really useful. That it just makes you completely silent, so you can sneak up and people won't hear you. That sounds really useful. So, I will say muffle is my favourite clothing enchantment. But I've made that up on the spot. Number 23, your favourite non-combat skill. Lockpicking. 100% lockpicking. Lockpicking is like my only... Well, it's not. Like, the thief skills are really useful. Like, speech is obviously really useful. I love speech. I don't really bother with the perks because I don't particularly want people to give me better deals. I just want people to, like, be persuaded by me at all times. But I don't really need them to sell me stuff cheaper, which is usually what the speech perks relate to. But lockpicking is one that I funnel my perks into, like, straight off the bat. Like, I'll upgrade, I'll, like, make it that it's easier to cast my healing spell and my destruction spell, and then I'll just immediately start funneling perks into lockpicking so that I can just open all the doors, because that's all I want in life, is just to be able... I hate when you get to a door in Skyrim and it's like expert lock. I'm like, you get flogged. Or even just an adept lock right now, because I'm only apprentice lockpicking, and I'm like, will you fuck off, let me in. So I love to lockpick. I love just rocking up to a door and just opening it. So that is my favourite non-combat skill, and it's my only kind of thievery skill that I really put a lot of effort into. I don't really care about stealth, because I know people love to play Skyrim as a stealth archer. I don't. I'll just walk into the room and just set fire to everyone. So I don't really need stealth, because I'm going to blast you in the face with fire anyway. It's not going to be anything stealthy about it. So for me, like, the only kind of thievery one that is really useful, and I don't pickpocket either because I'm not a dick. I don't really like pickpocketing from people. So I just really want to be able to pick locks and get into people's rooms. Especially that goddamn, what is his name? Thonar Greymane. When you need to break into their adept room in their house. I've went back so many times so far and I can never get it open. I'm like, fuck this game. Number 24, what are you playing on? So I've played it on the PS3 and I'm now playing it on the PS4. That is where we're at. That is the only ones that I have it on. That's the entire answer to that question. Number 25, the funniest thing you've had happen. Okay, so this is the story I always tell when I'm talking about Skyrim being complete chaos. So, me and Lydia approach Rorikstead. I was going there, I don't know, I needed to talk to someone for a quest. We're heading up to Rorikstead when a dragon attacks, and I'm like, well, fuck, here's a dragon. So, dragon lands on the ground. Me and Lydia are like, we're running over to fight it. Lydia's got a sword in her hand. Lydia swings her sword to hit the dragon and inadvertently whacks a guard who has ran into the frame and ran in front of her, and she hit him with a sword. So the guard turns around and starts attacking Lydia, and I'm like, oh my god, no, Lydia. So I've got my healing hands out and I'm healing Lydia, but Lydia is now attacking the guard. But the guard is like attacking her quicker than I can heal her. So I got I got my sword out and attacked the guard to get him off Lydia. And I thought maybe because he was already like antagonistic that it wouldn't incur a bounty, but he wasn't antagonistic towards me, so even though he's fighting my follower. So I killed him. So then I had 1,000 bounty on my head for killing a guard. So I'm like, oh shit. So I just turned and start running out of the town because now the guards are all chasing me. So I just turn and hightail it out of Rorikstead down this hill. So I'm running across this big open field when suddenly the bounty hunter appears over the hill in the distance, and I'm like, oh no. And I try to outrun him, but he catches up with me and just kills me in one hit. So, yeah. Dragon attacked. Lydia tried to hit the dragon, hit the guard instead. Guard attacked her, I attacked guard, got 1,000 bounty, tried to make a run for it, and then got one hit killed by the bounty hunter. Just a standard day in Skyrim. Number 26. Should children be killable?
Stop it. Get some help.
Number 27. Favorite divine. So for me it's Mara. Everybody knows I love a good wedding. I'm obsessed with weddings in real life. I love marriage. Whenever I hear someone's engaged, I cry. My friend got married recently. It was the most incredible fairy tale wedding I've ever seen. I was actually sobbing. It was beautiful. I love a wedding. So obviously Mara is my favourite divine, because Mara is the divine of love and marriage, and I am just a big soppy, hopeless romantic at heart. So that's... My bear looks as if he's drunk. I've just realised he's like... It's like, are you okay? Did you fall asleep? Are you alright, sir? Did you have too much last night? I think he's a bit top heavy, so he kind of just topples over. There we go. Yeah, so Mara's my favourite. I don't care so much for the divines as much as I do for the Dedric princes, but Mara's a good one because she smiles on us, and like I did make this joke to my friends, like that quest where you're supposed to give out the pamphlets about the Temple of Mara around Riften. I'm like me, my role in Skyrim is to lockpick your door at 3 in the morning, kick it down, come into your room, shove a pamphlet in your face and go, can I talk to you about the divine Mara? That is me living in Riften. That's what happens if you move to Riften. That's what you get from me at 3 in the morning. Can I talk to you about divine Mara? 28, your favourite location. So I'm thinking like your favourite location, obviously we've already said town. So my first thought was Sovngarde. Because when I first went to Sovngarde, I just spent ages staring at how pretty the sky was. And the music there is so pretty, and everything about Sovngarde is so pretty. So like, as soon as I read that question, my brain was just like, Sovngarde. It's my favourite location in the game. And it's so gorgeous and so peaceful. And I was there and I was like, you know what? I kind of don't want to go back to Skyrim. Fuck it, I'm just going to stay in Sovngarde. Like, you know... why can't I just stay here? Why can't... I'm a hero, I died in battle, why can't I just move to Sovngarde and just, you know, drink from the cup and eat in the Hall of Valor and hearken well in Hall of Kings. So Sovngarde, when it's not getting, you know, flamed to death by Alduin. Fuck's sake. Number 29. Who did you marry? Mjol the Lioness. She is gorgeous. She has a lovely voice. She's super nice and friendly. She wants to clean up the streets. She's a fucking badass. She can't die. She went into a Dwemer cave on her own and lived, even though she left her sword behind. Woman's a damn hero. Fucking love Mjol the Lioness. Who am I going to marry this time? I honestly have not decided. I would love to marry Ayla the Huntress. I just don't know if I can be arsed waiting until the end of the companion quest line. Also, I feel like making Ayla... I feel like Ayla's not, like, a wife. Like, because if you... Whoever you marry ends up making you pie for you every day, and I already felt bad enough when Mjol is, like, the biggest badass in Riften, and she's like, I made you a pie, my love. And I'm like, no. And then she's like, oh, I made money from our shop today. And I'm like... Stop running a shop! Like, no, you're not making pies and running a shop, you're Mjol the Lioness. So I feel like if I marry Ayla, I'm just gonna feel terrible because I'm like, why are you running a shop and making me pies? You're Ayla the Huntress. You're a werewolf and a companion. Go out and do things. As a follower, hell yeah, but I'm not sure I can marry her. I think I would feel bad. I really like Brianna Marin from the College of Winterhold, and she's in Dunmer, and I'm a high elf, so an Altmer, so I think we make a good couple. There aren't any elven children to adopt, but it's fine. It'll just be me, the Altmer, my Dunmer wife, and our little white Nor children. No one will ever question it. And number 30, finally, post a Skyrim picture. I don't have one in mind, but I'll find one when I'm editing it, and I will put it here. That's all for this video. That's all my questions answered about Skyrim. I hope you enjoyed. Like I said, I just wanted to make this because it's Skyrim's 10th anniversary and I wanted to do something to mark the occasion. So thank you, Skyrim. Thank you, Bethesda, for giving this world to us all. And hurry the fuck up on the Elder Scrolls 6, please. And if you don't put it on a Sony console, I will show up at your studios with my two-handed weapon, and I'm going to put the door down. Just letting you know in advance. Like, I come from Riften, you know? I know how to put a door down and tell you about the Divine Mara. Don't tempt me. But that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching, and catch you later. Bye, everyone. Oh, and don't feel like you can't answer the questions in the comments below. Like, there's 30 questions here. Give me your responses. Tell me what you think. Tell me why all of my Skyrim opinions are wrong. Okay, now I'm done. Bye, everyone.